Namo Namaha. Salutations of the holy feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Jagannata Sri Sharada Devi, the world teacher Srimad Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj, and my respects to most beloved brother of mine, Shri Maheshwariya, respectful namaskars to Sister Manjula Devi, and my love and good wishes to all the members belonging to the teachers fraternity of our esteemed institution here. I feel very much joyful, very much honored to be in your midst this morning to share some of the thoughts which have influenced me, which have really helped me to see the society and the world at large in a very unique perspective. I am Swami Veereshananda Saraswati of Ramakrishna Vivekananda Ashram, Tumkur. Very shortly, I am completing my 38th year of spiritual service. After being educated in the subject of electronics and communication engineering from University of Mysore, graduated in 1988, and immediately I found myself to be a man leading meaningful and fruitful life for the society. Taking that into consideration, I decided to get into Vivekananda's movement, and I am a teacher, I am a sannyasi, I am a social worker. Beyond all that, I would like to become a good friend of the needy people, so on and so forth. Generally, the teachers say, Swamiji, you scold our teachers very much. Till then, even then, we have observed that you are the rarest of the rare in Karnataka, whom our teachers love very much. Hope you are comfortable with my conversation. You had your breakfast, I suppose. I think everybody is comfortable with English. You want me to make English? It's your choice. How many of you cannot understand Kannada? Okay. So please, whenever it is required, I shall tell you in Kannada also. I love the teacher fraternity for the genuine reason that what I am today is mainly because of my teachers. Even today, at least 2 to 3 times, I do pranam to my primary school teacher who taught me the alphabets. She is in Tumkur only. She calls me very often. She inquires about my health, and sometimes in a very small voice she says, Yanappa, do you have the necessity of money? If so, I am getting my pension. I can give you something. She has forgotten all the days what I could spend after I quit the primary school. But even today, she treats me as Shankara. If there is any necessity of some money, I have some money with me. You should not feel any problem with regard to executing your work. Whatever little I can contribute, I should do that. She is 88 now. I am just 60. See, this is the relationship between a teacher and a student even after 55 years. I had one science teacher in high school by name N. Ramakrishna. He was an excellent teacher in physics and chemistry. Even today I remember the lessons he taught. Consider two lenses of focal length f1 and f2 with radii of curvature r1 and r2 when a ray of light is passed through. Simple physics, what he explained almost 48 years back. He was a gentleman, a great teacher, a synonym to the term teacher. But the only difference between myself and my teacher was he was an atheist. He took us during the excursion to one of the Ramakrishna ashramas in Karnataka. He stood near the gate, did not come inside. He allowed all of us to go to the prayer hall and pay our pranams to the deity. When I asked him, he said, I don't believe God. That was a great mark that really lurked in my mind, and slowly I started my discovery, you may call, how to convince my teacher with regard to the existence of God. My teacher got retired 5 years after I became a monk in Siddhartha Education Society, founded by great H.M. Gangadharaya, happened to be father of Dr. G. Parmeshwar. And when the management wanted to arrange for a farewell program to my most beloved teacher, he said, you don't invite anybody. If at all, if you want to give me a farewell, my student is a Swami in Ramakrishna Ashram, Tumkur. If he agrees, then I shall accept your invitation also. I want to listen to him. I want to spend some time on the last day of my working period. And they came to my ashram and requested. I said very wholeheartedly, I told, when my teacher wants me, I can keep all my works away and rush to him, because he has given everything to me in my life. He has given everything to me, everything. In the meantime, whenever we used to discuss, I used to explain him, why did Einstein believe in God? What was the concept of God in the mind of Einstein? Even till date, how more than 14 Nobel laureates could justify their stand in believing the Vedas, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra and Bhagavad Gita. All such explanations convinced him to a great extent, and finally he said, yes, there must be God. And he did not stop there itself. So in this matter, you became my guru, he said. I was his student. And I quoted another excellent example to my teacher, telling him that when Darwin gave an extraordinary phenomenon called organic evolution in the field of biology, where you come across an excellent journey from a unicellular organism, amoeba, to an extent of Homo sapien, the different steps on and so forth. Darwin was very much appreciated by one and all over the world for his beautiful inventions, his invention with regard to the evolution of the organic material. And finally, even though he was honored, reverentially respected by one and all in the field of science in those days, at one point of time, he was questioned by Professor Frederick Max Muller. Mr. Darwin, we too appreciate your wonderful invention with regard to the transformation of a unicellular organism, reaching the stage of Homo sapien, the most intelligent species on earth. But I have a doubt, I have a question to ask. How did this single cellular organism got life into it? Hope you are comfortable. Then, after a serious thought, Darwin very politely replied Max Muller, telling that perhaps God might have injected life into the unicellular organism. The question asked by Max Muller was, Darwin, I appreciate your wonderful phenomenon from unicellular organism stage up to Homo sapien, but my immediate question is, how did this cell got life? How did this cell got life? Then Darwin accepted the fact that God might have injected life into that cell, what you call as amoeba. So, this was also explained to my teacher, and he felt extremely happy, and finally he changed his own version of the concept of God. And I had great teachers, a galaxy of great teachers in Basavangudi National College when I pursued my PU education. Of course, 90% of the people who are here were not yet born when I was in National College. I can understand the age difference, the generation. A very few might have been. Okay? But 90% of you. Teachers used to train us so fantastically. They used to equip us so wonderfully that before answering the question papers, we used to write at the top of the answer paper, my dear teacher, choose any 6 answers out of 10. And we were bold enough, morally very courageous, because of our teachers. They trained us not only for equipping us to get through the examinations, they did not prepare us only for earning livelihood, rather they prepared us for life. They prepared us for life. See, these are all the things what I have experienced in my life because of the influence of morally, ethically very strong teachers. I don't say they were very extraordinary. I don't say in their fingertips they had every software or something like that. No. I can say that with great conviction, they were born to be good teachers. I sincerely submit that they were chosen by God to serve the purpose of teaching. So keeping this in mind, my dear friends, I shall tell you, always keep in your mind that you have been chosen by God for this noblest profession. I am a spiritual teacher. You are all working for the academic pursuits of the society, the material education, the worldly education, I mean. And here and there, depending upon your samskara, you can teach our children some human values which generally you don't find in your printed syllabus. If at all, a child can learn some human values, ethics, ultimately it is only because of the interest of the teacher, the hard work of the teacher, and the love and affection of the teacher towards such values. If he has imbibed such values, if he has enjoyed such values, then only he can convey such values to his next generation. The wet clay that is present before them, because he is being entrusted by the parents and the society to prepare a beautiful statue out of that. As long as the clay is wet, it is very easy to prepare a perfect statue out of that. As long as the brick is wet, you can put the factory seal on the brick. Once it is burnt, you cannot do that. You know, a seed is very, very safe under the ground. That means in the soil. But how long you want to keep the seed under the ground so safe? It has to germinate, and in continuation, it will become a small sapling, very small, very soft. It cannot protect itself. You have to build a fence surround the sapling. You are protecting the sapling from the external enemies like the cattle. Your responsibility will not end there itself. You have to again strengthen the sapling by providing manure and irrigating the sapling periodically. We must have the common sense. You may have 1,000 liters of water in your syntax tank, but the sapling needs half a liter of water every day for 300 days. You cannot overestimate your plant and put 50 liters of water today itself, thereby damaging the sapling. It is regularity and punctuality that means a lot. You have to put water throughout the year in whatever the quantity that is being recommended. You have to put that amount of water every day, all through the year. Then only you will have the season. You will have the upcoming of the plant. You can observe that wonderfully. So once the sapling becomes a plant, it starts growing very fast. Finally, it becomes a huge tree. Later on, there is no necessity of the fence. And you need not cater the aspects like manuring the plant, irrigating the plant periodically, so on and so forth. It will take care of itself. You just imagine a sapling, the newly germinated sapling, which was very much in need of protection from the external enemies, and to have the proper use of the strength that was hiding in the seed. You all know seed is so small, but once it starts spreading, have you seen Dodda Aladmara? Yes. That is out of one small seed. Just a seed. Now it has occupied 2 to 3 acres of land. See, that speaks about the expansion. So like that, education truly means that you can just help the seed to germinate and to get the form of a sapling and grow into a huge plant. But my immediate question to all of you is, can you change the true nature, the true essence of the seed? That you cannot do. Many times you come across parents, Swami, Rashtrotana Shalake says, Maklana, on Yako Badlawane Adlilwala, Leave Badlaistil in the Tumba Ponditwi, but on Eno Badlawane Adlilwala and the Nivinutrakurtili. We tried our best. We gave extra care to your child. In spite of that, we also feel very bad. We never expected him that he will do this mischief. We are very sorry. We did our might. In spite of that, we could not change him. That is a sincere answer. Even then, if they don't agree, what do you do? Then you must be intelligent and very sincere in your reply. My dear parents, you gave us a plant of 6 years. We have nurtured the plant till it reaches 12 years. We did not put the seed on our own. You gifted us a plant. We catered the plant for a couple of years. Now we are giving the plant back to you. We cannot change the very nature of the plant, just we can nourish. Am I right? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದನ್ನು ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ, even parents who have left their children in Ramakrishna Ashrama schools, they come and they inquire like that. ನಾವೇನು ಉತ್ತರ ಕಂಡುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವೋ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಉತ್ತರ. It is not an answer for every question. For every parent you should know. Alli, you will come across some students who cannot be changed. You cannot change. So in those cases, this is the wise answer I sincerely feel. So I explained to you about my teachers. I explained to you something about the germination of a seed and ultimately getting the form of a huge tree. Once it becomes a huge tree, even now you can tie an elephant to the tree, it will not damage the tree. But could you imagine tying your own puppy, your own dog, to the small plant that was coming out of the germinated sapling? You cannot. Even the dog will drag the plant out of the soil and it will damage the plant. Destroy, I mean. But now the plant has grown to the level of a huge tree. Even if you tie an elephant to that, it cannot damage our tree. So this means to say that we will nourish our children from the stage of their childhood till they reach graduation and post-graduation. By the time they complete their graduation, we will bless them to have all the different facets of human personality so that individually they can protect themselves. The immediate part is, then what is education? Why education is very much needed? Don't you feel without education also a man can survive? Whenever I use the word man, the women should not get hurt. It is a general term. Man means it includes. In America recently they have changed the syllabus. Don't confine only to man. Put it women also, you add women also they have. It is Trump's country, you know. Anything may happen at any point of time. So, educate is a Latin word. Educate is a Latin word. To bring out or to draw out something that is already hidden in you. Education is to bring out, to give an expression to what is already within you. See what an excellent definition. Swami Vivekananda defined education as education is the manifestation of perfection that is already in man. The last part of the second part of the sentence is most important. That is already in man. I told you, if you have a tree spread over several acres of land, where was the strength? That strength was hiding in the tiny seed. You sow that seed, ultimately in a few years, that resulted in a huge tree. The entire strength to spread over for acres of land together was hiding in the tiny seed. That is really remarkable, unbelievable, more or less. It is not that easy to believe that so much of strength was hiding in a tiny seed. In a few years, it got elaborately spread over a huge piece of land. Education is the manifestation of perfection that is already in man. Can we expect the perfection that is already in man can have the perfect manifestation in the external world? That is another challenge before each and every individual. One person may express 10% of the perfection that is hidden. Another may go up to the extent of 50%. And a man in the truest sense is educated who can give an expression to his innate capacity in 100% scale. This was explained in the ancient pages of our Upanishads, Savidya Ya Vimuktaye. That learning which can take you away from all sorts of darkness. All all sorts of darkness. There are different types of darkness. Do you agree? We are all familiar only with the geographical darkness that appear on after sunset. And between these two words, what is the opposite word of light? Darkness. When I was in first PU, my teacher, Shireen Nedungadi by name, she was teaching English to us in National College. In the middle of the conversation, she asked one of the students, what is the opposite word to brightness? Immediately the student said, darkness. She was so happy and she concluded the class. The person who was in the next class overheard this. He was none other than our mathematics teacher, MS Venkatram, MSVR, very popularly known in Bangalore. It was his job to teach us in the next period. He came to our class. Some galata was going on, some discussion was going on regarding the opposite words. What was that? He inquired. Immediately we said, ma'am was asking for the opposite word of brightness. What did you say? Darkness. No, he said, mathematics teacher. Immediately he said, brightness and darkness, they are not opposite words, I said, he said. No, sir, they are opposite words, we argued. Then he said, according to physics, darkness is not of zero frequency. Darkness is also a light of lesser frequency compared to brightness. So according to physics, brightness and darkness are complementary and not contradictory, he said. If a teacher can think on those lines, he not only enjoys what he teaches, but also he can find more number of smiling faces in his class. Otherwise, it looks like a class where you have the maximum number of depression patients sitting in front of you. Not at all responding to, even in the minutest scale, not at all responding to what is going on there. A teacher can keep the whole class very cheerful. You may come across some serious matters in between that should not be carried on for a longer time. If a teacher is really intelligent, humble, sincere in his profession, he will make the students to rise from their seats emotionally, enthusiastically, out of curiosity, enjoying each and every word of your utterance. Savidyaya vimuktaye. Next comes, there is a beautiful dictum in English. Start a good school today, thereby you can avoid 100 jails tomorrow. What a shocking statement. Every new extension in any urban area will have a fresh application to the people's representative. Sir, you make a police post, you make a sub-police station here. We are all afraid of the thieves here. Sir, if possible, why not make a sub-jail nearby so that if we come across such thieves, you can put them there. Am I right? See, this is almost, it has become the very necessity of today's urban area, urban life, I mean. But when you compare this scenario with what I just told you, start a good school today, thereby you can avoid 100 jails tomorrow. So, equipping a school performing its duty in the utmost moral and ethical way can minimize the social problems that may be the societal problems or family problems or individual problems of the people prevailing in the society. Our next statement of one great thinker of America, an atheist, after observing the whole Western world, he is certifying the Western world with these words. What he says? A good teacher in the society is better than 1,000 priests. His name was, I shall tell you, he happened to be from Detroit, an atheist. Veereshananda met him. You see his statement, one good teacher is better than 1,000 priests. Then you just imagine your position. Be proud about the noblest profession you are serving in. You are entering your services. Again, I will go back to Vivekananda's utterance telling that education is the only panacea for all human problems. Tell me any problem that is being faced by the human society, you have the solution in the educational system. If you equip every individual with these different facets of education, your job is over. According to ancient India, education, I mean to say learning, has got 4 facets. Number 1, 25% of the education you can have but the blessings of your teacher, listening to him in the classrooms. Second 25% is out of your hard work. Third 25% of your learning is because of the influence of your friends with whom you move day and night. And last 25% of the learning could be acquired out of our own life experience. Ultimately, it makes 100%. So, teacher can help the child to study 25%. Understand. Understanding 25% of the syllabus is the contribution of the teacher to the pupil. 25% he can acquire by his own hard work. Next 25% because of the influence of the students, friends. And last 25% is because of his own experience, his own life, I mean. You just imagine, can you imagine the amount of learning from a teacher is as same as the amount of learning from his own kith and kin, sitting with him in the classroom, moving day and night with him. Whatever the teacher makes the student to learn, same amount of learning is the contribution of his own friends sitting with him in the class, moving with him in the society. Don't you feel it is a surprise? Then what the teacher must do, only thing what a teacher can do is he must associate every student with another good student so that this positivity will yield you the positive results. Your job is not merely confined only to teach them, rather you must not only put some positives into his mind, rather you must help him to cultivate the habit of rejecting the negatives that may come across in day-to-day life. Whenever I address the medical students and doctors, I used to quote an extraordinary utterance from a book called Mission of Medical Sciences, authored by Dr. M.H. Hill. He says, it's very beautiful. Doctors are interested not only with the responsibility of taking care of the physical health of the patient, they are equally responsible in catering the ethical health of the society. Just imagine. If you go to a doctor sometime, you must be very happy to ask the doctor, "Sir, how are you?" You must ask the doctor, "Sir, how are you?" Generally, whenever you go to doctor will immediately ask you, "How are you?" Without a purpose, you don't go to a doctor. "Doctor, I'm all right, but there is," then you'll start from the second sentence that you're facing something. You'll start explaining it. But first learn to say that you're all right, you're happy. See, doctor must work in such a pattern that the patients must go to him and tell that we are very healthy. How about you, doctor? Very unfortunately, today, health and education have come under the Consumer Act. A patient can question the doctor, "Why did you give this tablet? Same combination tablet when it is available at a lesser price, why did you recommend this only?" Patient is eligible to question the doctor today. Even the parents will come to the doorstep of the school asking the management, "Sir, I am paying several thousand rupees of private fee. What is your specialty compared to the neighboring school? How can we trust you?" If they ask you such questions, you must be in an answer, because generally in olden days, such questions were not at all there. Society believed the schools, they believed the teachers, and they were so confident. Once we admit a child to a school, our headache for 10 years is over, because there is another big head to take the responsibility. The parents believed very sincerely, without even an iota of doubt, that the teachers under whom our children are getting education are far, far morally and ethically greater than themselves. The parents believed. They searched for a person who was morally and ethically more stronger than the people who gave birth to the offspring. Then they catch hold of one such morally, ethically strong person and they named him as teacher. They laid their child at the holy feet of the teacher with folded hands. They said, "Sir, we are offering our child at your foot. Whatever you do, we don't come in your way. We want to see that the child should be properly brought up. And he must never be a liability to this society. Rather, he should be an asset. He should be an asset to this society. We don't intervene in the matter of you and my child and your method of correcting my child, nurturing the ethical values in my child, so on and so forth." So, because of that greatest respect in those days, a teacher was highly reverentially recognized as Acharya, and he was very devotionally, with great respect, he was referred as Acharya Devo Bhava. Acharya Devo Bhava. Please always keep in your mind that never you please compare yourself, generalize yourself with people of other departments. You should be very proud. When you get into a BTS bus, immediately if the driver stands up and say, "Good morning, madam, how are you? I was your student 22 years back. Do you know how much you scolded me?" But I remember those words were a little bit bitter in those days, but today I feel it is a Revital tablet. There is a Revital, a tablet by name Revital. One tablet of Revital is equal to eating one apple, they say. Advertisement. So what all the way you scolded me, today it has become blessings to me, I'm blessed with 2 children. I'm leading my life very ethically. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Don't you feel it is a big certificate for you? You want to appear on big screens where advertisements are displayed in the big roads or so. Do you think so? Another day, you'll come across a policeman making the rules, the traffic rules, rendering the service of a traffic police. If he sees you, immediately he will jump from the place and he will rush to your scooter and say, Madam, ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಆಯ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ. ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ನೋಡಿ ದೇವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ತಲೆ ಕೆಡ್ಸ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ, ನೀವು ಸಿಕ್ಕೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದೆ ನನ್ನ ತಲೆನೋವು, ಸುಂದಿರಿ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹೇಳಿಸಿ. Am I right? Don't you feel these are all the words that should properly recorded in your service register of your own in your house? See, whatever the world appreciate you, I think that is a secondary certificate. The first and the foremost is, what about your conscience, your conscience, what your inner world says about you. That teacher who will mark the important questions in the syllabus will become the most unimportant person in the life of a student. A teacher can never be an important person in the life of the students just because he marked the important questions for this year's examination. And when old students approach you, they will very happily say, Sir, I will submit. I might have forgotten what all you taught in this subject, but I remember this clockwise punishment you gave, the way you corrected me. If that would have not happened on that day, I would have been on the streets today. Thanks for making me a human being today. Sir, I am very proud of you because more than a technician and a mechanic, you have your own specific spanners, screws, everything to correct every individual with an individual equipment. I had been to Vidhan Sauda to meet minister some 15 years back. I wanted to meet Dr. Parameshwar. Upon his invitation, I went there. When I got out of the room, one young police officer, Shiv Prakash by name, he came and did pranam to me. I hold his shoulder, and holding his shoulder, they were walking in the corridor of Vidhan Sauda in the 3rd floor. Opposite to us, there was another police officer who happened to be the security for some of the ministers. He said, Swami, we have seen so many polices holding the hand of people and getting them here. It is a big surprise for me to see a sannyasi holding the shoulder of a policeman and walking all along the veranda. I said, he is my child. When I started my profession, he was in primary school. I taught him mathematics. I taught him English grammar. I taught him what life is. Don't you feel as a teacher, if you have such a pure, unexpected, most ethical response from your own children, don't you feel that you have been blessed with an excellent, wonderful profession? I brought to your kind notice all these things only to make you to sincerely understand that you may be anywhere acquiring big jobs in the society, earning lakhs and lakhs of rupees, but this profession, teaching profession, is unparalleled. You are dealing with two most important aspects. Number one, you are dealing with the living beings, the true upcoming living beings who really believe you to 100%. A child may question, argue with its parents quite often, and not quite often with the teacher. You deal with the two most important things I said. Number one, you are dealing with the offsprings, the children of our society. Bidda Bhasha, Brahma Bhasha, in Telugu there is a beautiful dictum. A child will not utter lies. If father is inside and somebody is knocking at our door, he will call his child and tell, Appa Valagilla anta hedu. The child will sincerely come here. Appa Valagilla anta hedu anta helidare. You cannot make a child to utter lies. So you have been blessed with such human raw material. Let it be raw material. But your Herculean task is to make it a finished good. From the stage of unripe, you should make it a ripe commodity. That is your challenge. You don't have any contaminated or adulterated raw material. Raw material is very good. Bidda Bhasha, Brahma Bhasha, I told. You believe your children first. More than believing your management, more than believing your government administration. And these children sitting before you, they are the true ambassadors of yours at every step of your life. They carry the message, what they learned from you. Every moment they cherish. Every year they will be with tears in their eyes, they remember you. And for anything they achieve, invariably they will remember you. For anything they fail, invariably they remember you because my teacher told me not to do like this. I did this today. That's why I am suffering. I became a culprit and I have been punished. A teacher is an unforgettable human resource in the society. He is the living God in every human's life journey. The second aspect with whom you are dealing is the true knowledge and wisdom. You not only prepare your syllabus, you not only equip with regard to that particular lesson, you will have your open mind, your free thinking. In addition to the syllabus, you teach them something beyond syllabus, but which is very much needed for their human life. So you are with fresh minds in front of you. You are with fresh knowledge and wisdom. Who else is more fortunate than you people? Till date, I have completed more than 8,000 programs in my life. Starting from addressing 2 LKG students in Aravinda pre-class in Gauri Bidnur, up to World Parliament of Religions, 4th World Parliament in Barcelona, Spain. See, this is the journey of mine. Addressing 2 small children, 4 years aged, under a tree in Aravinda pre-nursery school in Gauri Bidnur, up to taking part in the panel discussion in 4th World Parliament on the subject, how to minimize religiously motivated violence. Please. I enjoyed every occasion where I was invited, where I was expected to talk to the audience, the gathering, irrespective of the magnanimity. A teacher should not only be successful, but he must have the greatest satisfaction that even being a teacher, that he could learn more and more, and after learning more and more, he could convey it in the proper way to his pupils. First and foremost is, please love your profession. Get committed to your profession. And always keep in mind that moment you got into this teaching profession, it is the continuation of your learning. Vidya Gurunam Guruhu. For students, you are the teachers. For a teacher, who is the teacher? For a teacher, the subject or the knowledge what you are studying on your own, acquiring experience out of that, and with that stuff, going to the class and with a smiling face always conveying that knowledge and wisdom to the children. And here I want to make a peculiar statement. Please listen to me carefully. Even though we have coined a terminology called Teachers Training Institute, nobody can train you. You have to get trained out of your own wish and vigor, commitment, looking at things. I may speak lot, but I cannot expect all of you to grasp, absorb the same amount of information what I convey. See, what all I enjoyed, what all I could cherish, I am conveying it to you. Okay? So you have to grasp whatever you sincerely aspired for and develop it in the galaxy, in the purview of your own mindset, and give different expressions to these experiences so that independently you can convey the same ethics and values to your own children. Hope you are comfortable with my conversation. So, I being a monk in last 38 years, not a single minute I thought I would have been more happier if I had been to some software company, working for a company as general manager and managing director. There is a company by name Nortel in Ottawa, Canada. I had an appointment there. I was observed in Raman Research Institute as a junior scientist. I had opportunity to work for 3 engineering colleges. Within 2 months, I had 6 opportunities in 1988. Saptamam Daiva Chintanam, there's a beautiful dictum in Sanskrit, that made me to get into spiritual life. I never ignored even the minutest responsibility that was bestowed on us by our Guruji. Every work was done with the mindset of performing worship. And I enjoyed all through my life, even the minutest work. Always keep in mind that a person will not become great just by executing very big tasks, rather than don't come to a conclusion that by doing big tasks you will become a big man, by doing small tasks you will be a small man in the assembly. No. Even a small task with a bigger mind when it is performed, you will become extraordinary. That is called Karma Yoga. Simplicity is not poverty. Obedience is not slavery. Always keep in mind, simplicity is not poverty and obedience is not slavery. You can add one more thing to this. Drowsiness is not meditation. You can add that also. Sir Vishweshwarya, a great successful man whose name became synonym to the word engineer, he guided the junior engineers telling that, my dear friends, never give up the pattern of simple life, the art of simple life. Art of simple life makes you a greater personality, because more and more you want to make your garments luxurious and you want to project yourself very luxuriously and in a very fashionable way. You are wasting your precious time not for acquiring knowledge and wisdom. And he says, start every day with a vigor, with enthusiasm, that you are starting the day to acquire so many things and to convey so many things to the society in turn. And he says, discipline alone can beautifully give value to all our energies of different facets: physical energy, mental energy, intellectual energy, moral energy, ethical energy, ultimately spiritual energy. See, these are the things that should be nourished properly, individually by the teachers in the first stage. Then only you will become a very strong human being to convey it with authority. With authority. You might have come across one story that happened in recent times. One very successful management person came to his middle school and he went and saw his teacher, touched his feet and said, "Sir, I have been internationally rewarded with this award for my extraordinary skills in the field of management." Teacher felt extremely happy. Then immediately teacher asked, "All right, you studied in our school, but why did you acclaim the entire success of yours only to me?" Then the teacher said, "Sir, something happened when I was a student here. If you had not tolerated me, today would not be a great day in my life." What happened? "Sir, I had stolen one wristwatch of my teacher that was lying on the table in the staff room. I had stolen that. So what? It was there in my pocket, in pant pocket. Pants are also called as, do you know other name for the pant? Bit louder. I'm not hearing you properly. Trousers, wonderful. Once an English teacher asked a student, "Trousers, is it singular or plural?" The student immediately said, "Sir, it is singular at the top and plural at the bottom." So then the teacher asked, "You had stolen the watch? So what?" Then the student said, "Sir, you told all the students to close their eyes. You started searching for the watch. You searched the pockets." "Yes, I did what?" "You put your hand in my pocket. You were successful in getting the watch that was stolen." "Yes." "What happened then?" "Sir, you did not mention my name as a thief. I did the theft, you did not reveal it out." Then the teacher said, "The person who had lost the watch got it back. That was my purpose. That was my purpose of searching for the watch that was stolen." Sir, even looking at me and rightly identifying the thief after getting the watch, why you did not announce my name as a thief in the school assembly? The next utterance of the teacher made the student to get tears in his eyes. He said, "My dear child, I checked every child by closing my own eyes. I also closed my eyes and I searched for the watch in everybody's pocket. Today I come to know that you are the thief. Till now, I did not know that you are the thief." You just imagine, you just analyze this. A teacher will never think of announcing his own student as the thief of the assembly. Sometimes he may hide the truth. "Hey, yarathu helbeda. Innonsala madre kai kaal murad hakbirtini. Nade a kade." He will come for a rescue in his own way. See, at that moment, judging what is right and what is wrong is not so important. See, even forgiving a student may give rise to his own introspection so that he will never be a thief in future. That is another part of the truth. And you may come across some percentage of students who will take it in the negative sense, and my teacher will forgive, I need not worry, I shall continue this profession of stealing. That may continue, that is also another part. So keeping this in mind, I am telling you the responsibility of a teacher. First, you love your profession and be very much equipped with whatever you have been expected to teach. Never come to the class without teaching, without preparing. Please never come to the class without preparing. And submit. If you don't know something, when a student asks a question, don't say, don't shout, don't threaten the student. Be politely reply, my dear students, I shall explain you in a better way tomorrow. Okay? Even I don't know in detail about this. Today, I shall confine to this amount of information. Okay? Tomorrow, certainly, I shall give you the information. So if that is the response of a teacher, the student will not go back to his house and telling the parents that my teacher doesn't know that. No. This is a sentimental understanding between the pupil, teacher and the taught. And never judge a student only taking his marks cards and progress cards into consideration. If a student gain lesser marks, it need not be merely for his less intelligence. Rather, there are so many reasons why he got less marks, why he got failed, so on and so forth. These are all the things that must be very properly catered by the teaching profession. And I respect the teachers. I request and insist the teachers with a great responsibility. What is that? If the child gets ignored, neglected, and termed as useless fellow, at the stage of the childhood days only, his future is gone. Again, getting up, equipping himself to the expectations of the teacher, fighting against the odds, and proving himself a worthy, it is beyond expectation for majority of the students. Your loving words, your consoling words, even your punishment in a polite pattern that makes a child to try once again and remain ardent child of yours in spite of getting promoted to next future classes. Never discourage, never underestimate, never scold a child with bitter words. Just if a child cannot answer your question right now, how can you certify that the child is fit for nothing? Please, please. This is how a teacher can prove his worth. You are all primary, middle school and high school teachers in future. And you have an extraordinary future. Every child will be the first page of your service register. After 1 year completion, you ask 30 children what they felt about you. 30 different opinion you come across. You please collect it and keep for yourself. You need not publish it somewhere. That really gives you satisfaction. And every opinion individually speaks about one facet of your personality. That speaks about who you are, because the child is not at all bothered about telling truth. It will picturize you in its own very humble, innocent way. My teacher is like this. I like this nature of my teacher. My teacher's dress pattern is good. My teacher's language is good. My teacher's body language is good. Sometimes the way she does like this, I don't like that. Child is very sincere. Very sincere. And if somebody notices such things, you feel ashamed. Just to look into that. And if correction is made, if you can go for that, you feel comfortable and happy. Your child may not be organically your child. But more than your own offspring, your own organic child, metabolic child, this child becomes a universal citizen tomorrow. More than your own children, the children whom you have taught will become your extended cultural ambassadors in 360 degrees of the world scenario. Never neglect a single child. Please keep this in mind. Never neglect. And don't consider the intelligentsia alone to respect or love a child. Always look into the matter of how to bring the child morally and ethically strong. Teach them the morality. This year you got 93% in SSLC examinations. Very unfortunate results. I feel why that 7.5% of students failed. And do you know 18,000 students failed in Kannada? What are these Kannada teachers doing? Kannada way Satya. What is this? 18,000 students in SSLC failed in Kannada. Very unfortunate. So, I am on the verge of completing my talk. Here, to the best of my ability, I just exposed the environment to which you are expected to get exposed, and whatever you have studied in your B.Ed, M.Ed, so on and so forth, that will be just the theoretical knowledge. Now practicality will come into picture. You have to prove who you are and what is your capacity. And while learning, don't feel shy. If anything to be learned from your neighbors, politely, you have to do that. If you ask, you will be a fool for a minute. If you don't ask, you remain a fool forever. Learning is a continuous process. Till our last breath we have to learn. Learning makes us more and more equipped knowledgeably in the matters of wisdom. So never, please, never ignore learning. Vidya Gurunam Guruhu means if you have a syllabus to teach 6 points about a particular concept, you must teach them 10 points so that your children will be highly equipped to face any challenges, either in the form of writing exams or in the form of oral exams, quiz, so on and so forth. See, these are the new challenges you have before you. And throughout the year, you will have that wonderful mission of learning. What is your mission of life? Learning and updating myself, equipping myself. And whenever there is a seminar or a workshop organized in nook and corner of Bangalore, please always go in the forefront demanding for you to participate there. Very unfortunately in schools, if they receive some information, send 2 teachers to this workshop, then the headmaster will sit with all the staff and say, there is a seminar, is there anyone interested to go further? 98% will say their own reasons. I have Gruha Pravesham, I have some get together. Do you know what is the real meaning of get together? The real meaning of get together is get together. Get together. A seminar where you come across so many learned people will enhance your knowledge and wisdom. I know a primary school teacher who retired as DG of Police Department, Nizar Ahmed. Nizar Ahmed was a primary school teacher. He appeared for UPSC, got IPS. He was SP in Tumkur, very kind to me. Later on, he retired as IG of Karnataka State. Even a primary school teacher studying properly, getting equipped for UPSC exams, can pass IAS exams, and by the time he or she gets retirement, they will be the principal secretary of primary health. I am not presenting before you a utopian philosophy. It is reality. See, knowledge is infinite. Sky is our limit. Hard work will give you everything. There is nothing parallel to hard work in our lives. And you must love hard work. You must love learning and be obedient to knowledge and wisdom and have great respect for the people who are blessed with knowledge and wisdom. Day before yesterday, I met one gentleman by name, Dr. Rajkumar Bhatia in Delhi. He happened to be retired economics professor from Delhi University. 6 of his students are presently central ministers under Narendra Modi ji. More than 25 students of him happened to be vice chancellors in a period of 10 years in different universities of the country. He is such a simple man. I have great respect for him. I was with him for 2 hours. He told me, Swamiji, as a teacher to the best of my ability, I have served the department, that's all. I have done my job. I saw so many luminaries, including IAS officers, who, the moment they approached him, touched his feet and said, Sir, how are you? By your blessings, I am keeping well. I am serving such and such a department. I happen to come to Delhi today. Invariably, I made up my mind to see you at least for a minute, get your blessings and continue my journey. Okay, sir, thank you. God willing, we shall meet again. See, these utterances from the student of yours, even after so many years, don't you feel that you become an object of eternal importance in the society? A teacher is not an individual, he is an institution. A teacher is not a human being, more than that he is a philosophy. Vidya gurunam guruhu, naguror adhikam tattvam. Guru stuti, naguror adhikam tattvam. You don't have any philosophy beyond gurutva. See, these positive aspects you must always study. And in another 1 month, on 20th of June, I am publishing my own book titled Guru Yendare Laghu Allah. I want to distribute it, of course, for a very small price, for at least 25,000 teachers of our state. I request Maheshwarappa to see that every teacher of our institution, not only in Tanisandra, everywhere in Karnataka, must have a copy of that book and they must go through that. So this is truly an eye-opening for all our teachers. And today I thank our management, Maheshwaraya, Sister Manjula, for extending me an invitation to be a part of this induction program, the motivational seminar program for our teachers. Yesterday night around 11 o'clock I came back from Delhi. I had an international conference for monks where 500 monks assembled in Ramakrishna Mission, Delhi. So continuously I will be moving with teachers and students, which I enjoy very much. In last 38 years, I have spent 90% of my time in the midst of teachers and students only. I feel very fortunate to have such a life by the blessings of God. I pray God to grant all of you not only successful, but a very meaningful professional life for all of you in future years. Welcome to Tumkur Ramakrishna Ashrama. Thank you very much. Jai Ramakrishna.